Alright, here we go. So we're working on 51, and we've got here, we're using the complex conjugate. We've gotten it down to here, so it's 1681, 40, 40 is, and 9 don't share any common factors, so there's no way we can reduce this. The only thing I would say is, if they asked us to put it in standard form, then you would go ahead and separate this to negative 40 over 1681 minus 9i over 1681, okay? That's standard form. You have the a plus bi, okay? If they don't ask for standard form, you can write it like that. But just get used to paying close attention to directions. Alright? Pay real careful attention to directions. Alright, so that looks good. It's minus 40 because we had the 40i squared. And she rearranged it so that the real part was first and the imaginary part was second. Alright, let's see.
63.
63
Yeah.
was next. Okay.
Wait, what about 55?
Oh, 55.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 55, 59,
Oh, 55.
and then 63. Okay. Yes.
No, to the end.
Alright, so let's look at. I know it's Friday, but there's a lot of chatter, a lot of extra talking, and the less you talk, the more we can get done, and the less you have to do at home on your own. Alright, so let's focus a little bit better today. Alright, so we have I over 3 minus 2i plus 2i over 3 plus 8i. For both of those, you have two options here, and it really is completely up to you. We could rationalize both of these denominators first, then get a common denominator, and then add. Or you could get a common denominator first using the complex numbers, then get a common denominator, and then add. Alright, I'm going to do it the first way because I think that's a little easier. Alright, so I'm going to rationalize this by multiplying by 3 plus 2i over 3 plus 2i. Okay, so I have in the denominator, that comes out to 9 minus 4i squared, which is, what's 9 minus 4i squared? 13. Okay, 9 minus 4i squared is minus a negative 4, so plus 4 is 13. In the numerator, I have a plus 3i, and I have a plus 2i squared, so that's a minus 2. Okay, so that's my first fraction with a rationalized denominator. Then for my second fraction, why is it? Okay. I have 3 plus 8i, so I'm going to multiply by 3 minus 8i over itself. Alright, because remember we have to be multiplying by 1. So in my numerator, I have a plus 6i, and I have a minus 16i squared, so that's going to be a positive 16 plus 6i. Okay? In the denominator, I have a 9 minus 64i squared, so that's 9 plus 64, which is 73. Okay? Any questions up to that point? Okay? Now, they were super nice to us and gave us 2 prime numbers for our denominators. So, the common denominator is just 13 times 73. Alright, if you have 2 prime numbers, That's the only way you can get a common denominator. So now I'm getting a common denominator by multiplying by 73 over 73. Okay, so that's a negative 146 plus 219i. You guys can check my arithmetic here. All right, and then that's going to be plus. I have to multiply this one by 13 over 13. Okay. 13 times 16 would be 188.
208.
Wait, hang on.
208.
130 plus 78, yeah, 208. And then that would be 78i. Okay, and then 13 times 73, 730 plus another 219.
949.
49. All right, good. All right.
Oh,
So now we can combine our like terms. Negative 146 plus 208 is 62. 219i plus 78i is what, 297? 297i, and that's all over 949.
Can
Again.
you do it the way with
oh, the method too.
like getting the common denominator first? Because that's the way I did it, and I didn't get anything close to that.
Okay. Does everyone understand what we did with this method?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any direction, please?
Okay. Alright, well let's tell you what, let's do this. Why is it drawing and not? This thing kinda has a mind of its own. I don't think the notebook was designed very well for the Mac. 'Cause I never had some of these issues when I had my one on the PC. Alright. Oh wait, we don't want to start there. We want to start all the way at the beginning. Okay. Alright. So, if I'm finding a common denominator here, I'm simply going to multiply the two denominators together. So, I have a 3 minus 2i over 3 minus 2i that I'm multiplying by. Here, I have to multiply by a 3 plus 8i over 3 plus 8i. Okay? Now, we have a 3i plus 8i squared, so that's a minus 8. Here we have a plus 6i minus 4i squared, so that's a plus 4. Okay? In our denominator, we've got a 9 minus 6 plus 24, so that's a plus 18i. And then a minus 16i squared, so that's a plus 16. Okay? And then, let's simplify that. So that's a minus 4 plus 9i over 25 plus 18i.
Yeah, I got there, but how do you like put it into standard form?
Well, at this point, our denominator's not rationalized.
Oh,
So if you got here, you're good, you just aren't finished.
oh, you do 25 times 25 minus 89.
Yes, you've got to multiply by 25 minus 18i. Okay, so your denominator is going to be 625 minus 18 is 324i squared. So 324i squared. Yeah, 324. Which, and I know I'm just finishing the denominator here, 625 plus 324 is 949. It should look familiar. Okay? The numerator, we have a negative 100. Negative 4 times negative 18i is going to be a positive 52, or not 50, 72i. Then 9i times 25 is 225i. And then 9i times a negative 18i is going to be a minus 262i squared. Okay. Oh. Okay, great. And then, where did I put your second page? Uh-oh.
How does it work, the math?
What did I do with your second page?
A tax I, or did you say tax I?
No? No.
Oh, $3.
Let's just set it down. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Okay. Alright, so here, minus 262, I squared is a plus 262, so that's 162. And then 72i and 225i is a plus 297i. Which, wait, did we lose 100 there somewhere? No?
Yep.
Oh, no, I multiplied wrong. 9 times 18 is 162. Sorry. So that's just 62. Okay. Alright, so either way you do it, you're probably going to get some big numbers, but it'll work either way. Okay.
And then for standard form, you just break it up to.
For standard form, yeah, it would be 62 over that plus 279 or 297i over 949.
Gosh.
On the test, are you going to give us problems with big numbers? Or with big decimals?
I don't know, big is relative.
Right, no one
mean-
just big.
We demand
I
more
mean,
supposed to or less?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, I don't intentionally make the arithmetic difficult,
Oh,
okay? But
like some
I don't intentionally try to avoid fractions or big numbers either, so.
Try.
Do you like make your own questions, or do you get your questions?
I usually make my own questions, usually. For SL2, I'm doing it a little different because
What is it?
we're also preparing for the IB exam, so I'm taking questions from their test bank, partly just to get them used to what they're going to see on the IB exam. But that's kind of a unique situation. Alright, so let's see. What did you do? Did you actually do this?
I tried, and then like I tried to factor everything, but my number was weird. Like I had imaginary numbers in my head. But they said that the answer was 8 for all of them. But I was like, I don't know how it's possible.
You got 8 for all of them?
That's not what
Or
I
that's
got.
what they
That's
said?
what they said.
Well, here, I'll do this one and then that one.
Well, I got 8 for the first one, obviously.
Yeah. Alright, so plus radical 3i. By the way, they put the I at the end to follow the BI. If that annoys you, don't do it that way, okay? It's
it's
not a
not?
matter of right or wrong.
So it's not under the radical.
No, it's not under the
It's not.
radical. That's why I always write the I in front of the radical.
Yeah, that's what I used to, but then I thought I was going.
No, you can write it like this.
Okay.
I radical 3.
That confuses me way less.
Alright, so just real quick, if we FOIL that,
I thought we were supposed to go cubic.
well, yeah, we're gonna do that in the next step, so we have 1 minus 2i radical 3 plus 3i squared,
So minus.
so minus 3, so that's gonna make that a minus 2, minus 2i radical 3. Then we multiply that by another negative 1 plus I radical 3. And so we have 2 minus 2I radical 3 plus 2I radical 3. So those cancel out to 0. Minus 2I squared times radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. So that's minus 2 times minus 1, that's a positive 2 times 3 is 6.
What?
2 plus 6 equals 8.
Oh,
What was I doing? 'Cause my numbers were just all over the
If you had your eyes inside the radical, then that
oh,
was
yeah, that's probably what.
that would mess the whole thing up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why anyone would write it that way, but anyways. So. All right, any questions? Other questions?
Part C.
Part C is going to end up being the same thing, except
Oh.
you have that and that, so this ends up being positive. Then when you multiply it by the negative, that's really the only difference.
Okay, I didn't.
So that's okay. So, all right. Now we do want to actually cover something new today. So, if you have more questions, come talk to me. We can work through those things. But we are going to be using some of these as we